And I think that the other thing that's important to think about is that, we talk a lot about perceptions and grantee experience, but there's also the aspect of the structure of individual foundations that do matter. And so part of what the Grantee Perception Report does is not only look at grantees' experiences, we collect some information from foundations about the way in which you do your work that not only help us develop these customized comparisons, but also we can then play back to individual funders some information about how their program caseload or their program structure compares to other folks in our data set. And that kind of operational benchmarking, I think, can be useful as well in understanding the determinants of sort of grantee experience with the foundation.
Great. Couple more questions. How do you get the board on board? So, go ahead there.
I think the answer to that is, first of all, you identify this as something you want to do, and obviously get their approval, even if the expense is below a threshold that you may have to go to them for, because presumably there is going to be something of significance that you'll learn in the first iteration that you want to react to, which I would assume will be significant enough in process change or perhaps investment that you will be coming back to them. Secondly, once we got the results, we met as an internal team. We only have 4 people in the foundation, so it was relatively easy, and discussed them, agreed on our agenda going forward. We presented the agenda to the trustees in concert with, here's the executive summary of the report that CEP produced, and you're all welcome to the detailed report if you want it. I draw that process step in there as important because I would not hand them either the detailed or the executive summary version of the report without a proposal from you to what you're going to do about it, because, as has been pointed out, there's more than 50 questions. Your trustees could go, your board could go in any number of directions based upon their personal perspective on the foundation. You need to be leading where the foundation is going and then reacting to where they may disagree on the margin. I found that has worked twice so far, and hopefully will continue to work in the future.
That's great. Thank you there. Kevin, you would want to add anything?
I mean, I think that I've been at this for just a little over a decade now, and the Grantee Perception Report has given me the great privilege to be in a lot of boardrooms of foundations as they think about the interpretation, as Sarah mentioned, sort of the response to these kinds of results. And one of the things that I've been constantly impressed by is that once boards have this kind of information, the kind of substantive conversation they have that really shows a deep caring about the kind of impact that their foundations can create and how to maximize that impact is just incredible. It's been really, honestly, inspirational to me over the course of the last decade. And I think that it can be a hard sell to boards to reach out and get this kind of feedback. Foundations are, particularly private foundations, can be fairly private organizations. But once that hurdle is passed and this information comes back, again and again and again, I just see incredibly rich conversations at boards. And I think that, as I talk to boards about whether to do this or not, is what I always point to. I promise them that the information that comes back is going to drive a strategic and a rich conversation about how to best use the foundation's resources to make a difference.
Couple just quick process questions from, do you present, perhaps we didn't address this, do you present the results in person? And then a related question, if I were to participate in the February round, what's the earliest I could get my results?
Yep. So when we start with the presentations question, it does vary. As I mentioned, we have a lot of flexibility around sort of scope of this kind of work, and there are some costs associated with us presenting the results in person. But the vast majority of foundations decide that they do want CEP to present these results in person to either staff and or board, in part because we've done this a lot and can bring sort of some perspective on what results, beyond just the report, how these results look and how to respond to them. but also because we have a lot of stories from our research and our case studies about how other foundations have reacted to results or structured their work. So we do a lot of presentations, and I think they can be very valuable, but it's not 100% of the time that we present in person. And the second question, Phil, was
just how quickly could I get my results if I were in the February survey round? What's the earliest I could get the results?
So the February survey round launches in mid-February. The surveys tend to be open for about 6 weeks, so they close at the end of March. The earliest we can get results back at this point is probably May. It does take us some time to combine the data into the comparative data set, and we're very focused on quality here at CEP. We want to make sure that what we're handing to you is going to drive the right kinds of conversations and reflection and learning in your organization.
Great. I don't have any other questions coming through. So I think what I'd like to do is give you an opportunity, and you, Kevin, if you have anything you didn't say that you'd like to add, or any final parting thoughts before we conclude. There?
No, I guess I appreciate the opportunity to share our experience. It's been a positive one for us. I think it's important to have a third party like the CEP in the middle who can compare the fine differences in each in answers that your grantees and applicants are providing, and we have found that it's valuable and helpful in moving us forward. So I'd encourage others to do it.
Thanks, Kevin. Do you have any final thoughts?
I think the only final thought I have is that you should reach out and get some more information from CEP about how this could work for the particular circumstances of your organization. I just flipped our slides to my contact information here in Cambridge, and Grace, who couldn't join us today, and then my colleague Austin Long in our San Francisco office. You should feel free to reach out to any of us, and we're happy to have just a quick conversation with you about how this could fit for your organization. And then the last thing that I would mention is just to remind you that we do have this discount, this early bird discount opportunity right now for the rest of the month of October. So don't hesitate to reach out and get a little more information. Thanks so much for letting me present this today.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Thayer, very much for sharing your story. Really, really appreciate it. We have recorded this webinar, and we will have it available on our website if you want to share it with your colleagues who were unable to join. That'll be up at some point within the next few days. So thanks to all of you for joining. Just want to thank our colleague Laurel Mitchell, who's been sitting here with us and did all the work to get this together, as well as Grace, who's trying to get well. And thanks, and hope to hear from you. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.